Hello, everyone. We are happy to welcome you to this workshop called A Teaching Career. How do I get there from here? Pathways, majors, transfer, and credentials. Oh my. So Alice Hale and I are here to present this to you. We presented at Teach for the Bay, but didn't record. So this is our recording a week or two later. We hope it's helpful. So this is what we'll go over this morning or whenever you're watching it. We'll have an overview, why people take courses, qualifications for teaching. It depends on a number of factors. An overview of the pathway to credentials, types of credentials. We won't have program intros today, but we wanted to leave that on there because there are videos of the other programs introducing themselves or they have an hour-long session telling all about themselves. And we have so many amazing programs in the Bay region, and we really encourage you to check those out on the YouTube playlist for Teach for the Bay. You can find that link at www.teachforthebay.com, and you can also link to our slideshow there and find it there, the link to the playlist. So I'm Tracy Burt. I'm faculty at City College of San Francisco. I coordinate an apprenticeship program called SF Educators Rising, and I'm really passionate about supporting talented, diverse, and passionate future teachers. Alice, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Alice Hale. I'm a faculty in the Early Childhood Development Program at Chabot College in Hayward. And I'm also the lead in building our pathway for teachers of all kinds, not just early childhood, but also K through 12.
Great, thank you. So there's more than one reason to take a class. One, it gets you closer to transfer. Two, it helps you now with your teaching practice in the classroom. Three, it helps you earn a permit or meet licensing requirements. And four, you're interested in it. And you could take a class for all of these reasons at the same time or just one of them.
So you probably are here listening to this because you love kids, right? And you've discovered you loved working with them. But you are probably wondering, how do you make that into your career? And we're here to answer that question and talk about the different pathways to teaching and teaching with different age groups. So next slide, Tracy. So it really depends what you do. It really depends on where you want to teach. In California, in the United States and in California, we have really two different systems. We have the system for young children, and we have the system that we know as K through 12, now TK through 12, which is the system for public education. So for young children, there's a family child care home that a lot of people do. They run a family child care out of their home and take care of children from 0 to, well, some even do after school programs. To do that, you don't need any units necessarily, but you do need to take an orientation about health and safety, and you need to be licensed. So you need to have a licensing inspection. Now, if you want to work with infants and toddlers or in preschool, you need to get early childhood units that are required by state licensing, which licenses centers. You need to have specific units in infant and toddler care to work in an infant toddler setting. In preschool, you need, as I said, you need ECD units or ECE units, and some centers require permits that are issued by the state of California. Then we've got transitional kindergarten, which is the new grade level that's come about in the last few years. It's the pre-kindergarten grade level. Now, because those are in the public school system, you need to have a multi-subject credential and 24 early childhood units, or there's a new credential called the P3 credential that also qualifies you to teach that grade level. And then elementary through high school, the K through 12 system, you need to have a bachelor's degree and a credential as well. You also need a bachelor's degree for the transitional kindergarten level as well. And then the community college level, if any of you are interested in that, you need to have a master's degree in whatever it is you want to teach. So Tracy and I, for example, have master's degrees in child development or human development, and that's why that qualifies us to teach in community college. All right, next slide. So early childhood, to get a little more specific about the 0 to 5 area, California licensing requires that you have 12 units in 3 classes that they specify, a child family community class, a class in child development, and a class in early childhood curriculum, and then 1 more class. Usually people take a class called Principles and Practices of Early Childhood, because that's the part of a degree and certificates at a lot of community colleges. If you want to specialize in being an administrator or working with infants and toddlers, there's specific classes you need to take for those levels. The California Child Development Permit is required if you want to teach in state preschools. And those are publicly funded preschools by the state of California. It's issued by the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing. You get it through a combination of taking a certain number of units and work experience, and you have to fill out an application that answers several questions about professional fitness, and you have to be fingerprinted as well. So I really urge you, if you want to learn more about this, there's a great session that was done on earning a child development permit. Now is the time. That's on the Teach for the Bay playlist, a YouTube playlist. So the overview of the big pathway. So you start out with an AST, an associate degree for transfer, a transfer degree from the community college. It's called the degree with a guarantee. And a lot of people gain that, and then they transfer, they earn their BA degree. Some colleges offer a combined bachelor's degree with a teaching credential. It's called an integrated program. And that means at the end of the 2 years of after you transfer, you've gotten your credential and your BA. Most people go from the BA degree to a separate credential program that's a post-BA year. Teaching credentials are issued by the Commission on Teacher Credentialing. Multi-subject credential is usually what people have in the elementary school, PK through grade 5. As I said, TK also requires you to have 24 units of early childhood experience, classwork. A single subject credential is what you get for most situations of teaching in middle school and in high school. That means you've got a credential to teach one specific subject, whereas the multi-subject, because in elementary school, you're teaching all, classroom teachers teach all subjects. You need to show that you're versed in teaching all subjects. There's also a special education credential for teaching students with special needs. And there are lots of different options and specializations about that. And San Francisco State University did a program on that in the talks about that when they talk about their programs. And then this new credential, a P3 Early Childhood Specialist credential, has a long name, for preschool, PK, TK, kindergarten, and grades 1 to 3. And there's a recording of a workshop on the PK3 ECE Specialist Instruction Credential. What does it mean for you? That's also on the Teach for the Bay YouTube playlist. And I really recommend you listen to that because it explains what that credential does, what it authorizes you to do, and where it and how you earn that. And okay, to you, Tracy.
All right. So subject matter competency for credentials. To earn a teaching credential, we have to basically prove that we know the subject that we're going to teach. So this can mean taking a test, which is called the CSET test, which is California Subject Examination Test, I think, or taking an equivalent degree that has been approved for equivalency. And you can, like, for example, San Francisco State has subject matter advisors who you can contact to see if your undergraduate degree would count as equivalent, for example, to the math CSET. There are also some free classes for math and science online to help you prepare for a CSET if that's what you want to do. So a lot of these things, we're giving you kind of an overview, and there are so many people out there to support you. So when you get confused or you want to know the next step, you can reach out to us and we can try to find someone who can help you. Sometimes some of the early childhood programs at community colleges have teacher prep centers. Some of the BA and credential programs have teacher prep centers, or they have information sessions on a regular basis. So for a multiple subject or elementary school credential, you usually earn either a liberal studies degree or a child adolescent development / early childhood education degree at some institutions. So some institutions, when you go there, like for San Francisco State, if you go into their CAD program and you graduate from that program, you earn equivalency to the multiple subject CSET test. And we like that because everyone doesn't like tests, and every tests don't always show what we know, right? Excuse me. So for the new P3 credential, an associate's or BA degree in child development, human development, or ECE, or 24 units in child development that's added to the multiple subject credential works for teaching TK right now. And as we're in November 2024, we're recording this, and so far one program in the Bay has been approved at San Jose State, and San Francisco State is close, and maybe other institutions are close as well. So keep your eye on that. Keep your eye out for the integrated degree programs that Alice was talking about. So there's the BA credential programs, and they're called ITEP. It stands for Integrated Teacher Education Program, and that's a way to get your credential and BA together faster. And sometimes it could be a BA and master's. Basically, you're double counting classes for two different degrees. So for a single subject, the best thing to do is to earn a degree that has the same name as a credential. And you can also get contact someone to get advising at the institution where you would like to go after your transfer degree from community college. So we really recommend that you advocate for yourself. A lot of times credential programs have some leeway in what they approve as equivalent. And sometimes you have to contact people, and you might have to contact them multiple times. So advocate for yourself if you really would like to earn equivalency and you believe that you have already demonstrated your subject matter competency. So I don't remember, do we put the CBEST in this? There used to be a CBEST test, so it's worth saying that there still is, but once you have a BA, you don't have to take the CBEST. So that was California Basic, I don't know what the E is, Basic Skills Test. Basically, it was math and English. And so it's no longer an obstacle, because if you have a BA, we know that you have basic skills in math and English. So finally, we got that. A lot of us have been advocating that for many, many years. So it's exciting. So transfer degrees are one way to start. So even if you're looking at early childhood, it's great to look at taking classes that will both help you in your practice, help you get your permanent licensing, and also help you move towards transfer. So you can do multiple things at the same time. Why get the T on your degree and not just 60 units? You can transfer with 60 units to a CSU, but if you get the T, you're guaranteed a spot at a CSU. It might not be that's California State University. It might not be the one of your choice, but there are 4 courses at CSU that are already satisfied when you get the T part of your degree. So that's a great thing. We are really working at trying at streamlining things so that you can become a teacher faster. There's so many talented people who are ready to become teachers faster than the pathway demands. So up to 70 lower divisions units are accepted to transfer, but you need at least 60 transferable units. You can use assist.org to look at specific transfer agreements between your community college and transfer institutions. So if you're at Chabot and you want to go to Sonoma State, you can look at the relationship between classes you're taking at Chabot and what Sonoma State, I guess, accepts as an equivalent class. So you can transfer with any of these degrees: early childhood development, CDev, child development, or an EDU degree. So sometimes there are, so CDev could actually also be CAD, child and adolescent development, same thing. So the EDU degree, some community colleges have a transfer degree in elementary ed, so you can transfer in with one of those. You don't need to take more than one major. So if you're wondering what to major in, we recommend you talk to your academic counselor to determine the best courses to take given your long-term goal. So we can't in this presentation tell you exactly what to major in, because it's so different depending on what your long-term goal is. So these are some of our recommendations for special ed TK-3, which should say P-3, or multiple subject elementary credentials. Liberal studies is a good major. Child and adolescent development is a good major. Early childhood is a good major. And I guess we put any major because you can transfer with any major into the liberal studies programs. So we went over this, and I always like to say, don't worry if you're confused. This is confusing. And so just don't stay confused. Ask questions, and we can try to clarify for you. And we're actually probably going to make updates to the slideshow. We've already worked on the slideshow. Alice's slideshow took us after we've been steeped in this work for decades, it still took us many meetings to make the slideshow, and we'll probably make updates to improve it today. All right, for middle and high school, most of the time you earn a single subject. There are some middle schools that accept a multiple subject credential. It's not all that common, but usually as Alice said, you major in the subject you want to teach. It might be math, it might be a science, it might be English. So it depends on the major. It depends on the credential and what you want to teach. There is a lot of work around what the ethnic studies pathways are right now, because there's going to be a need for more ethnic studies teachers. So right now, social studies is usually what people are majoring in. So, but that's a good thing to get advice on. And some specialties require an authorization, like computer science. You would get a math credential with a computer science authorization. Ethnic studies, social studies with ethnic studies authorization. And they are looking at other credentials. I don't know how, what's going to happen there. Yeah, just talk to a counselor or someone from a credential program to make sure you're on the right track. And even when you're meeting with your counselor, go in with information. Don't expect your counselor to know everything. Academic counselors usually have to know hundreds and hundreds of pathways. So it's really good for you to have information about what the courses you need for, and what you want your major to be. Or if you don't yet, to talk to them and find out what they know, and keep talking to people until you find the information you need. What we don't want you to take classes that you don't really need to transfer, unless you really want to take those classes for your practice. Then go for it. And we need those classes. Like I teach a class on children with special needs. It's not part of our transfer degrees, but it's always full because students need that class to serve all children well. So it's a really important class. So this was the next section of our training. We had about 8 transfer institutions present. The second part of this recording for this workshop on the YouTube playlist has most of the transfer institutions, and the recording missed San Jose State and
Cal State East Bay.
Cal State East Bay, and they both have an hour-long workshop that they did. And actually San Jose State has 2. They have one for their teacher programs in general and one for their P3 credential. So we encourage you to watch that. Thank you for watching this. We hope it was helpful.
Yes, thank you very much. Take care, everybody. And remember, ask questions.
Yes. Let's see.